Today's topic of discussion is the controversy between whether or not double dipping into retirement pension funds and regular salary pay from another company is okay. Essentially, double dipping is a term used to describe individuals who use two different forms of income, one from retirement and then one from their current occupation. So before I continue on with the things about everything about double dipping, I want to explain everything that goes into it. So the biggest things that play a part in it is what you make. So your different incomes, you have your pension and you have your different salary and wages. So pension is a form of retirement plan which provides a lifelong regular income, similar to how salary is or how your wagerly hours are at a different job. So your pension is basically formed by the amount of time that you spent working somewhere, a certain multiplier, and your average salary when you decide to retire from that job. And once all that is combined, you have your final wage for what you would be getting, well, until the day you die. And that can be seen in this little diagram where it has 30 years of service, your 2% multiplier, and your $75,000 final average salary, all turning into your guaranteed yearly lifetime income benefit. Your salary is what you do before retirement. It is what you work for. It is a fixed amount of money that you get weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, yearly, you name it. However you want to compound it, that's on you. But that is what your salary is. Your wage is hourly based. It's amount of money that you get per hour depending on how many hours you work. And it can change from different bonuses, overtime, etc. So why is double dipping so controversial? So as you could have told by that previous slide, pension and your salary are both very good forms of income. They're both very stable and they both get the job done. So for people like me, I'm I'm in the military, and soon, hopefully, later on in life, I will be a veteran where I will be collecting my retirement. But I doubt that I would stop working because that is just me as a person. So the pros of this is it increases your income, an income that you don't have to work for, and an income that you do have to work for. And with that, it provides financial security. So if you were to lose that new job, you would still have a feasible income to live off of. Another thing that it does is it helps new employers save money. And it helps them save money because they don't have to contribute to a new retirement plan for that employee. The reasons why people find it so not a great way of income is because it reduces the amount of pension funds able to be given out to those who can't work. And this is because of early retirement versus people who retire later on in life. It reduces their amount because there's more money going into those who decide to retire early but are still working, collecting both incomes. It also increases taxes. When a younger person retires at a younger age, not only do you have someone at 50 years old retiring, but you also have someone at 65 years old retiring. One person may have 20 years of experience where the other may have 30. And this essentially just builds onto taxes, which makes it unfair to the taxpayers. So overall, it is essentially a very hard thing to come up with a solution for, but there are ways to minimize the effects that it has on those who pay taxes and even those who receive these pension funds. So a few solutions are having employers put more towards these pension funds versus a taxpayer taking their own money and putting into these taxes to provide for those who are going into retirement. You can limit the amount that someone receives from pension while they are working another job, which essentially means that there's less tax money going in to those receiving pension funds. And in some cases, some people, not all, but some people do illegal things and gain two different government pensions, which also will increase taxes. So for this, I interviewed someone that taught me while I was in military training. He was a prior service. He is currently now a civilian military instructor teaching on heavy construction equipment. And I asked him, what was your situation like when transferring from military service to being a civilian federal government worker? And he explained to me that with being prior military, he had to decide whether or not he was going to use to retire completely or to just put forth his years of military service towards his new pension, his new retirement pension plan. And that is one thing that that seems very fair to those who are paying these taxes because they're still working their job and not receiving their pension. So with these solutions, an Australian National University senior fellow named David Ingles does much research on all of these topics, and he says that all these changes are intended to make the retirement system fair and more financially sustainable.